was everything you can ask for in March Madness, but they just came up short. And, hey, congratulations to the Bruins. I mean, they played a hell of a game. They've had a fantastic tournament. Now they're about to run into this buzzsaw named Gonzaga, so good luck with that. But Juwan Howard, his staff, they had all the answers. The guys, they just didn't go out there and execute, and so we didn't get it done last night.
You're a classier man than I am. I would definitely have not made it into work today. We will talk to Seth Greenberg about all the tournament stuff a little bit later. But now to the NFL. The Green Bay Packers have restructured the contracts of 6 players this offseason to create much-needed cap space. But Aaron Rodgers is not one of them. Yesterday, our Rob Demoski asked the Packers CEO Mark Murphy why they haven't done anything yet with Rodgers' contract.
No, I can't really get into specific players. We've been able to create room with others.
Don't you guys want to ensure, though, that he's your quarterback beyond just this season?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the specifics again. Good try, though, Rob.
That's why we love Rob Demoski. You got to try. Teddy is here, Diana's here, and Des, of course, continues with us. Diana, how should we read that exchange, and I guess in particular, and in general, the fact that they redid all these deals and they didn't do Aaron's?
Yeah, 6 deals they redid to try to make more room, and you heard Mark Murphy just try to veer right around it. And from the outside, Mike, it may seem like the Green Bay Packers aren't redoing this deal. They're not extending their future Hall of Fame quarterback. But league circles have been pointing, or people in league circles have been pointing this out to me over the last week or so, that Aaron Rodgers would need to agree to restructure. So while Mark Murphy is not going out there giving specifics, this may be him protecting his quarterback. Because in theory, Aaron Rodgers could be the one and the reason why this isn't getting done, Mike.
And so let's be clear, Teddy, on what it is that we're talking about here. If Aaron Rodgers is at least participating in not extending his contract and setting himself up to be able to leave next year if he wants to, how do you see that situation right now for Rodgers?
Well, from a Green Bay Packers fan perspective, it's all bad because this should be solidified. You should have this quarterback. No doubts that he's going to be here this year, next year, years from now, because he's that good and he's that special of a player. Of course, we all know that, but quarterbacks have power. And if quarterbacks choose that they want a contract or they want out of town, or eventually I just want control after this year to control where I go, they can do that. And I think this does have something to do with Aaron Rodgers. And I think we all have to realize about how a lot of professional football players achieve success in their careers. They take things personal. And I believe that Aaron Rodgers is a person that takes things personal. I still think he feels wronged by that first-round pick of Jordan Love. So it's like, listen, I remember who's got my back. And you guys take a quarterback in the first round, so I'm just gonna play my options out a little bit and have a little bit of control. And I think Aaron Rodgers is making decisions behind the scenes because he does have that type of power.
Desmond, does that sound like Aaron Rodgers to you?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, listen, Aaron Rodgers, he felt the same way that most of us felt last season during the draft. We watched the Green Bay Packers trade up to draft his replacement, Jordan Love. He felt like he had gotten snaked. Like, hey, I thought you guys were going to give me another weapon, a wideout, a tight end, someone to help this offense, not a symbol that, hey, your future here is almost over. So this is the guy we're about to get who's going to step into your shoes sometime soon. So, I can't really blame Aaron Rodgers. If I'm put in this position right now, the organization, they've played their hand. They showed me how they look at my future. So now you have to protect yourself. You have to look at your future from the vantage point where it benefits you. You've given the Packers organization, you've given the Cheeseheads everything they can ask for from you as a quarterback. And this is the way that they've chosen to repay you. So now you have to look out for yourself. So I do not blame Aaron Rodgers one bit.
Wrap it up, Diana. Give us a quick sense of how this thing plays out from here.
Yeah, Greeny, this is a message. This basically is Aaron Rodgers saying, I'm going to go year to year now. This is my days of playing in Green Bay. They're maybe numbered. I may not finish here because you made that decision, not me.
Yeah, this shall forever be known as pulling a Brady. It worked out awful well for Tom down in Tampa. We'll see if it works out for Aaron Rodgers himself. All right, next stop this morning is the Pro Day circuit. And oh, what a day it was for Justin Fields. His Pro Day yesterday in Columbus, and everyone was talking about this, his 40-yard dash. He's 6'3", he weighs 228 pounds, and he ran an unofficial 4.44. So just for comparison, you say to yourself, well, just how fast is that? He ran in the 4.4s. It's really fast. If you take a look at the official NFL Combine 40s by quarterbacks going back to 2006, the only one who ran faster was RG3 nearly 10 years ago. Now, just to be very clear, Lamar Jackson didn't run at the Combine. Kyler Murray didn't run at the Combine. It doesn't include them. But that's just to suffice it to say, he's unbelievably fast. And this is Matt Miller here, who is our draft analyst extraordinaire. Matt, what did we see? For those who didn't watch it and didn't follow the conversation yesterday, how did everything go for Justin Fields yesterday, and what did it mean?
Yeah, Greeny, it went exceptionally well, and it's unfortunate that it's not getting maybe as much hype as the Zach Wilson Pro Day did last Friday, but not just the 40 time. This is exceptional. To run a 4.44 at almost 230 pounds as a quarterback, you show the numbers. That is unprecedented. But let's go back to the throwing, because that is actually what Justin Fields does best and what he did best for Tears at Ohio State. We saw him throwing, yes, the short routes. We saw him stretch the field. This ability to go opposite, roll left, launch the ball down the field. There were throws where his guys were not waiting on the routes. He's throwing on time. He's throwing with velocity. And I've said it before. If you want me to bet on the quarterback in this class who's the biggest, strongest, and has the best speed, well, that's actually Justin Fields. It's not Trevor Lawrence. It's not Zach Wilson. If we're talking about athleticism and arm strength, Justin Fields is the top in this class.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a weird year, Desmond, and obviously you cover it for us all through the season. It began with Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields sort of neck and neck, and then Lawrence ran away and hid, and now we're talking about the possibility that Fields will be the third or the fourth or somehow even the fifth quarterback in this draft. What do you see, Des?
Well, Justin Fields is a great athlete. He's, we knew, at least I knew, going into the pro day, he was going to clock a fast time. I mean, he's just been a tremendous athlete since high school. So that didn't really surprise me. Now, obviously, at 225, almost 230, moving that fast, I can see where a lot of people were shocked. And then he can make a lot of throws. There's no doubt about that. This kid was like a five-star recruit coming out of high school. The issues, Greeny, comes into play when you start to break down the 2020 film and look at the games against Indiana, the games against Northwestern, and then you try to figure out, okay, what did you see? What was going wrong, and why did you play so bad? Why did you throw all these interceptions? As far as being on the field in shorts, he can make all the throws. He's going to woo you with his athleticism. But when it comes down to playing the quarterback position, let me make sure that people understand this, Greeny. This is a conversation because, like you said, he's in a position now where they're talking about drafting him as a second, maybe the third or fourth quarterback, anywhere in the first round. When you're talking about drafting a kid that high, then this is when you start to split hairs. Now, if you're talking about stealing him in the second round or third round, then you're not having this type of conversation. So I think that he served himself well yesterday at his pro day, but when he has to sit down at the board and start to explain things that went wrong in the 2020 season, then that's when you start to really figure out what type of player Justin Fields is going to be at the next level.
And so, Diana, let's try and figure out what we think we know here. So when the 49ers trade up to number 3, a conventional wisdom is that means they know that the Jets know who the Jets are going to take it to. That's what a lot of us sort of put two and two together and figured that's what they know. What do we think we know at this point, Diana, from the people you talk to? What do we think we know about the quarterbacks in this draft at the very top of the first round?
Yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt that the San Francisco 49ers also happen to have a great relationship with the head coach of the New York Jets, with Robert Saleh. So, there's a lot of communication. But here's something I learned long time ago covering this league. There is nothing certain in terms of what teams you're taking and who they're taking when it's the end of March. Historically, look back at the draft. Look at the players that we've teams and quarterbacks with. It usually changes and evolves over the weeks leading up to the draft. So while we think the Jets are going to take Zach Wilson, that's what we're all assuming, I wouldn't say it's a certainty at this point, Greeny.
That's an important point to make. The draft round 1 is 4 weeks from tomorrow. A lot can change. We are just getting started. Jam-packed we will be all morning long. Coming up, the truth about Mac Jones' pro day. Is he really one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this draft? We'll answer that question. Plus, we'll finally get to see it. Rodgers versus Mahomes, the NFL's new 17-game reality. Why one of our crew isn't thrilled with how it could impact the playoffs.